So now the audio's on and you'll have to, you just have to like clip it to you and then somewhere. And then this, like, it has a thing where you put it on your,
I think you tell how loud you.
yeah, but Destiny did the class yesterday and she was definitely really loud.
Okay.
She was very loud.
I could hear her from my desk.
She did not need the mics. But then we were also winding her up.
And
Then I have
this,
to have this on the table or what?
you can put it, it has like a clip, you can put it on your pants if you want to walk around, or you can put it on the table, whatever's better for you. So that's on,
Okay.
so they'll be able to hear you. And then we'll turn on the slideshow.
I guess come on and pull up here.
Huh?
I guess.
Okay, and then so,
I can move.
Because if it's, you're gonna be the only one,
so here's your,
but I've gotta be able to, I need to be back farther this way so I can see.
okay,
And
Wait a
I
minute, let's see. No, maybe this one.
moved right here.
so this, you should be able to just do
Okay,
the arrows for it.
okay.
And
Sit right here and stare at you.
No, I want you to hear. No, I want you to hear if we're gonna do it like she's talking.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I said. If you need me for any of it, yeah, just holler or come get me.
Okay, so I'm just ready to go.
Yep.
Okay.
You're ready to go.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna grab my cup of coffee since you're having your Pepsi. I've already
Okay.
had enough coffee, but I'm gonna have more.
Okay, we're gonna move on up here since we're,
I'm gonna
because I
grab.
think it's already running, so I need to start.
It is. I don't know. what-
Well, since she's the only one that's in here today, I guess I have to wait on her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, just holler for me.
I need this course overview.
Let's do this, lady.
All right, girl. Come on. I'm not used to them live streaming, so I didn't know how it was supposed to work. Okay. So today is the buyer.
I may run out and grab my coffee, but don't feel like you said anything. They may run.
Okay. Okay, I know you've been coming to a lot of the nights, Heather, so it's just gonna be you and me and then whoever listens to this later, so.
Yeah.
So let's just get her going.
Mhm.
Okay. This has the today's agenda on it,
Mhm.
but I know you've seen these
Oh
every
my
single
gosh, yes.
time, so we're gonna move on.
Moving.
All right, the right approach. Did she give me? This doesn't, where's the,
Turn the slide.
I don't know the.
Keep going. You're good. The next slide.
Well, let's just, the right approach to close for a meeting is the only approach. Just ask for it. Gary Keller.
This is the next one. Go ahead. There's slides missing in there.
I was
In
gonna
there.
say,
Yeah.
this doesn't make
No,
sense.
no, no.
There's today's agenda right
Yep.
there.
Mhm.
There we go. Somebody got this messed up.
No.
Okay, here we go. All right. I know you've seen this graphic a lot.
Yeah.
I used to have it on my wall in my office, in the other office. It looked a little bit different, but it basically said the same thing. And it's called the lead generation and database model for the millionaire real estate agent. And basically, what do you do to get an A qualified buyer? You lead generate, you follow up.
Mhm.
And an A qualified buyer is a buyer who's able, ready, and willing to do business in the next 10 to 14 days.
Right.
And then how do you follow up with a buyer? Do you know?
So follow up for me would be, checking in with them either by phone, text or email.
That's right. And you do it daily. with an A, somebody who's ready to go.
Okay.
Okay. This is the 7-step buyer cycle. The buyer service cycle. So,
Yep, so I'm leads to appointments.
yeah,
And
we're gonna do-
then prepare for the buyer consultation, and then buyer consultation, that from there, is that where they sign the buyer representation contract? Or is that just where they kind of interview as a client or the?
the goal is to get the buyer agent contract signed
At that point?
at the buyer consultation.
And then that would lead to setting up a home search and finding a home, offer negotiation,
Mhm.
contract to close, and then post-close system. And you continue following up with them, right? Because then in 7 to 10 years, they're probably gonna want to move.
Yeah, of course, of course. Okay,
I'm getting a lot ahead. I just need to.
I know, but you know what? I have to fight myself to not be, because I love the classes,
Mhm.
to not be getting ready, to get ready,
Mhm.
you know?
And that's why I'm trying to use all of the activities in the back and actually do them, not just be like, oh, that was fun.
Yeah, it's the best,
You
it's the
can do
best
that.
thing to do. Okay, I need to keep going.
Keep going, just keep going.
Okay, so I think she's already covered her ahas. So today's agenda is gonna be getting the appointment and having the A buyers, conducting the buyer consultation, and that's gonna be, and then recapping ahas, but we're gonna be preparing for the buyer consultation, we're gonna be getting the signed buyer's agreement, and we're gonna go over the daily success system. And the keys to converting your A buyers is to respond right away to the lead inquiries. You're gonna get valid and complete contact information, and you're gonna save it to command and create an opportunity. And if you will get it in command and create your opportunity, in the very beginning, everything will flow through. So, and then later you'll go, oh, I'm so glad I did it this way. Because you're gonna save yourself a little stress and time. The third thing is you're gonna determine their motivation to buy so you can speak to it. Because we're gonna come back to that over and over again, like, what is their motivation? And every single person has a different motivation. And then you're gonna set an appointment, a time and a date for as soon as possible. And you need to get it as soon as possible because from past experience, I can tell you if they have time to think, they will talk themselves out of coming in to talk to you because it's everybody's fear of the unknown. And that's why you have to get them into the office to talk to them. And you're gonna, see. Yeah, opportunities, I talked about that. All right. 7 close to appointment tactics. Don't leave any conversation without asking for the appointment multiple times. You have to ask multiple times. You don't want to be obnoxious, but you have to ask because the first time, because of the fear, most buyers' first inclination is to say, no, I'm not going to do that. Success in this job is just as much about mindset as hustle. You remember what we all talked about in the 6 personal perspectives, and you're going to remove those limiting beliefs. When you get off the phone, you should have a clear day, time, and ideal location to meet, along with full contact information. So the first thing is you're going to show the benefits In general, people are more likely to go along with something you suggest if you explain the benefit to them. If spending 30 minutes with me could save you hours of time and thousands of dollars in your home search, would that be a benefit to you? Great, let's meet. That would be something you could say. And if you just, because I was just reading it and it probably sounded a little canned, but if you just, are you back?
Yep, sorry.
Hey, you made me lose my place.
Show the benefits.
I know. So anyway, so, you know, if it may have sounded a little bit canned with the way I just read it, but if you're sitting in front of somebody and you're used to saying it, it will just fall out of your mouth and it will sound very normal. And then the take back close, this technique puts a tempting offer in front of the buyer, then subtly creates a fear that they may not be able to get it because nobody likes to miss out. So an example would be, I've enjoyed talking with you. To be honest, I don't know whether I can be of help to you or not. However, I'd be honored if we could meet to find out. How about we meet tomorrow? And then there's these other tactics are the negative positive close. This is a way of backing into the appointment to close. Would you be offended? I love this. I love this because people respond to this. Would you be offended if I ask if we could meet to go over all of this in a little more detail? I'm free tomorrow. What time works for you? I've gotten really comfortable in saying, would you be offended? And for me, it's one of those things that I just, it falls out of my mouth now. So number 4 is give them what they're looking for. Quickly pique the buyer's interest by giving them what they're looking for. Information or interesting comparable properties. Because they are looking for something or they would not be talking to you. So you need to give them what they're looking for. So for instance, yes, let's meet at my office and I can give you the specific details about that property and let you know about similar properties also for sale. What time works for you? They have to see the benefit to themselves. Number 5, a trial close. A trial close tests the water first. You should find out whether you and your client genuinely agree. For instance, can you see how receiving a list of all the new homes on the market in your price range would help you in your home search? Great, let's meet. See, you're giving a benefit to them and they feel like, oh, if I don't do this, I'm going to miss out. Number 6, the assumptive close. Assumptive closes assumes the close and prevents them from saying no. For instance, it sounds like we should meet. I'm available most times of the week, so what works best for you? Great, see you then.
So you don't ask them if they wanna meet, you just say, we're going to meet.
Well, it sounds like we should meet. Well, then, you know, there's always more conversation
Okay.
after that, but it leads into them making an agreement
Right.
with you.
Without being pushy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tie downs. Tie downs are phrases that ask for confirmation, expressions like, wouldn't that be great? Or forming questions with, can't you? Isn't it? And wouldn't you? Ask for agreement and get your customers into a pattern of saying yes. For instance, we'll save hours on your home search if we meet in the office first. I think that's very valuable. We'll save hours on your home search if we meet in the office first. Saving time is important to you, isn't it? Great, let's meet. Because they hadn't even thought about that. And they do look at you as the professional. So they're going to think that's valuable,
Right.
that they're going to save time. Okay. Buyers' objections to the appointment. Like I said, it's always that fear of like, and nobody wants to commit themselves to anything. So your buyer's objections to the appointment.
What's the hook?
So when a buyer objects to meeting you, what are your first thoughts? Rejection, definitely no. They're being unreasonable. Those are all limiting beliefs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, objections are good. They're buying signals and another step closer to a purchase decision. Objections are a response to, I don't know enough yet, or you haven't answered all my questions. Instead of walking away at the first sign of an objection, there's a system for exploring and solving the objection right away. So you're going to ask questions, you're going to investigate deeper, and you're going to ask, tell me more about that, or help me understand. Asking questions is so important. And personally, I am a big talker. And so I have to check myself on that and keep going back to asking questions. Because I want to just visit and enjoy.
I struggle with that.
Yeah. Number two, empathize. You know, you can just say, I certainly understand how you feel. Because that's all they care. They care that you are hearing what they're saying to
Right.
them. Okay. Number three, identify the real issue. Restate what you've heard and ask for confirmation. That way they know that you are hearing what they're saying. Number five, urgent agreement. You're going to ask again for the appointment. Okay, we have our Y4C2Ts.
Mhm.
Which one do you think
Which I
applies? Yeah, you got a shirt on that says
I didn't-
Y4C2Ts.
I didn't even think about it. So I just threw it on.
Well, the one that fits would be communication. Seek first to understand. Because trust starts with honesty and commitment in all things.
Commitment. It's commitment, communication, and cultivate.
Yes, it is. It is.
I can't always remember all of them.
Because if a buyer continues to object to a meeting after you have addressed their concerns and offers solutions to them, you're going to just continue to cultivate the relationship and provide value just as you would with any lead in your database.
That's the end of that section.
13, 14.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got to get straight in my head which one, which of those pages are front and back, because they're front and back. Okay, do you have any ahas for that?
I think the one that really was when it's an A client that you're actually contacting them daily, that's a good one. Cause I didn't realize that if they were quote unquote a hot buyer, you would be contacting them daily. My thought is if there's no news, there's.
But they do need to hear from you. Now you may get a little bit of feeling of contacting them too often. Well, if you're contacting them too often, are they really ready to do anything?
Okay.
Really, and you do have to have new news to tell them, or you
Right.
always have to have something to share with them that's a benefit with them.
Yeah.
So, not moving.
Yeah, it is. Keep going. There you go.
There we go. There we go. Okay. To get a signed buyer agreement, first you need to get to the appointment. When you make an appointment with your doctor or dentist, do they simply tell you the time and date as you head out of the office and expect you to show back up at the right time on the right day? Nope, because they follow up and manage the appointment. So they're calling to confirm.
You're now texting me.
Yeah. So you're going to confirm the appointment, the day and the time, confirm the appointment location. And the best meeting location is your office. And there is a huge perception becomes reality, okay? And when they're coming into your office and they see you have this nice, big, wonderful office, looks very professional, you're dressed professionally because that's important. I think it's important. you have the control. And they look at you more as a professional. So the best location, I think, is your office.
Right.
Because, you don't want to go to a private residence because of safety many times. We are as realtors friendly people, and we basically trust everybody. And
It's not
obviously, all you have to do is
expensive.
look around your world today and know that you can't, so you've gotta protect yourself. So, you're gonna ensure that all decision makers are there. It's very frustrating when they're supposed to be there and only one shows up. Because you're gonna have to present all over again. The wife will say, well, I'll tell my husband all about it. That is not gonna work. You need them sitting in front of you,
And
because if they're the decision maker,
and they're gonna have to sign the contract anyways.
yes,
They'll have-
yeah, because then they're gonna have all these questions and you're gonna look like you don't know what you're doing because they haven't heard your presentation,
Right,
You're gonna complete your buyer's guide.
okay, which I have one put together, I just haven't wrapped it up.
Okay. And you're gonna prepare the meeting space, whether it's in person or virtual.
I don't
I
like
s-
virtual.
I will do virtual, but I don't really like it because it's harder to really connect
Mhm.
with people that way. So, and then the last thing is you're gonna review the lead sheet.
Mhm.
So we've kind of already gone over
Yeah,
why it's important that all decision makers are present. But if you have to do virtual, still follow the checklist, with some variations.
Mhm.
For example, confirm the appointment location may entail consulting the buyers on their preference, whether it's online, FaceTime, Hangouts. And send the link ahead of time. And it's important to prep the space, making sure it's free from distractions, it's neat, appropriate for the meeting. You gotta be aware that perception, how you present yourself, means
everything.
everything. Okay, here we go. Let's see what else we got. Okay, top 10 service areas of the buyer value proposition. You'll recall this from day 4 when you developed your unique
Mhm.
value proposition. That there are certain service areas the buyers expect. And these are the top 10 areas where buyers need a great agent to help them. So you can go over all those: needs analysis, pre-qualification, neighborhood information, home search, make an offer.
Yeah, because you don't want to start a home search if you don't know what your pre-qualification amount is.
Right.
And you want to know where they're wanting to look in the neighborhood. Like all of these like feed into each other.
And then, remember to keep your value proposition focused on what you bring to the buyer, not just on how great you are. They want to know that you're great, but they want to know that you're going to help them. So you're going to list the benefits you offer buyers and the compelling reasons to work for you. And they're going to be the basis of the customized buyer guide, which you can create in command. Okay. So the buyer guide contents, these are all the things that are going to be in that buyer guide. To get a signed buyer agreement, first you need to get to the appointment. When you make an appointment with your doctor, well, that's not the right one. 17. There we go. I'm a page behind. Why that's so confusing to me. Because it's on front and back, and I get the front and back mixed up once I've talked about one side, then I forget. I don't know whether I've turned it or not. Okay, there we go. Look at this list. What does it do for your buyers? What does it give them? Does it provide value?
Well, I think it gives them an idea of who you are. It gives them answers to questions that they might have that they can take with them.
Mm-hmm.
and read through.
Mm-hmm.
It lets them know that they are working with a true professional instead of somebody just gonna spout off facts. And
Yeah.
then they're gonna forget it 5 minutes later. And it makes them comfortable because they know that you have, for example, right there, it has, Keller Williams Mortgage. It gives them information that you're not just one person, you have an entire company.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, like the value it provides, it's like
Mhm.
information, what to expect. It answers questions. It lays out the buying process.
Mhm.
It helps them avoid mistakes. And it sets expectations for the process and their relationship with you. And it shows them what you're doing.
Right, and I think too, for me, when we sat down and did an interview with the agent I ended up going with. His had even like, at this point, this is what you're gonna do. You're at the beginning, you're getting pre-qualified. Here's a list of vendors that you're gonna use. When you get your contract, here's a list of home inspectors, here's
Yeah.
pest control, like all the steps and when they would happen and like how much time you had to get those things done.
Yeah.
So that
And that's perfect.
you know kind of what to expect and you've already
Yeah.
vetted.
It educates the buyer
Mhm.
and it's showing your credibility. And then it gives you the guide
Right.
to follow during the presentation. Is this guide going to be the same for all buyers? Probably not. An investor will want something different, but
Somebody that's buying land is gonna want something different.
yeah. And somebody who grew up in the area probably doesn't need a list of attractions. But, you don't have to create a completely custom guide for everyone, but there's certain things you can take out and put in. And all of them are gonna want a local market analysis with price ranges and trends,
Mhm.
And building new relationships with local lenders and insurance professionals is beneficial for every buyer. So us having those makes a big difference.
I like the buyer questionnaire at the very end. 'Cause
Yeah.
then you're kind of getting to know what they're expecting, and it'll also, you can put stuff on there so that when you create a search, you're knowing, okay, they kind of like when we did it. We absolutely wanted an attached garage, like it was a no-go if it
Yeah.
was detached or a one car or whatever, like.
That's right.
What their personality type is, and what's gonna be a no-go for them.
Yeah. So I think, with Keller Williams, all of this, we don't have to reinvent anything.
I love
It's
that.
here.
And I love that even in command, they give us the designs and they're like, just doctor it a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't have to really think about it.
Yeah,
Put
it's
your
all,
own, put your own flair on it.
yeah. Okay, so this is the table of contents for your buyer guide.
Mhm.
Each section of the buyer presentation helps connect with the buyer and the bill's confidence and your value and all that. What do you think you need to gather up to put into your buyer presentation? Have any ideas of what kind of things?
Well, what I have in mind is like a little bio about me and why I got into real estate. I have information about the area. I actually have a page that's kind of blank, but it lays out where I can put in the trends for the last 6 months, in the area that they might be interested in. I have a vendor page, again, like, I was telling you about with like home inspectors and lenders and
Mhm.
home repair and whatever that they might need, cleaners, movers,
Mhm.
painters, that sort of thing.
That's good.
And then I do have the questionnaire for them, so I can get their birthday, make sure I have all their information. And then I have, like, the process, like, what needs to happen when.
Yeah, that sounds like you're getting on top of this. So this is just saying you need a buyer's lead sheet, but this is the things you need to gather up before buyer lead sheet, MLS, market center
Oh, yeah.
assets like logo, address, your and your photo and your contact information. So you gotta make sure when you're making it
Okay.
that you have all of that.
I think the only other thing that I would take with me through with the buyer guide is a copy of what they'll see with a buyer representation and then a contract. And explain to them what's in the contract.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
when we did it, it was right in the midst of 2020. And so our agent was like, look, when we decide to put an offer, I don't need you to be sitting on it for 24 hours. I need you to sign it and send it back. So let's inspect it now.
Yeah. Well, this is the buyer guide dream home.
Mhm.
So this is online and in
Man, in Canada.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, in your designs.
Mhm.
And the first page sets the tone for your relationship. You're going to start by asking buyers to explain their dream home, their buying experience. You turn this page into a participant guide.
Mhm.
And this page sets the tone for the appointment in your relationship by centering the buyer's needs, wants, and values. You can use this page to uncover buyer values and motivation for their move. I got to stop doing that.
They
So-
kind of throw you off too, because that slide is different. than
Yes,
the page number.
it's a different number. That's okay. We're smart enough. We figure it
We're
out.
figuring it out. It's just me. I can keep you straight. You're almost done with it anyways.
We got a long way to go here, girl. Um, my instructor's guide is much thicker than your guide. Than the participants one. So, okay, so the buyer guide preference profile. So you just want to, it's just important to set and revisit expectations. And then, when you're talking to them, you should be taking notes to capture the information, and this lets them know that their thoughts and their needs are important to you, rather than you just sitting there. But if you're taking notes, they feel like, okay, she's listening to exactly what I'm saying, and it's important to her. Okay, so let's move on. Yeah, go right back to the same thing. Okay. There we go. The buyer guide, home wish list. This is just gonna guide you to ask the buyers about their ideal home. And you're gonna customize these questions for your market and the information you've already obtained. So anyway, let me move a little faster. This is what we call the needs analysis, the foundation of your search. So you're gonna really need to dig down with them for that. And then you're gonna keep going back and revisiting it. So it's how you capture the picture of what they're looking for in their new home. And we're gonna look at the needs analysis in a questionnaire later on in this session. Even if your client already knows the neighborhood they're interested in, knowing what they like about that neighborhood can help you expand your search if you're not finding homes for them. Because sometimes the homes are not available
Well,
in a certain area. So,
and I think too, something that Bo has mentioned is, like, this is important for you to dig down and get what they're wanting in the very beginning, because then,
Yes.
and then if they start sending you something that's out of the price range or out of what they told you in the first time, you can call them and be like, hey, I saw that listing you showed me. What's changed?
yes,
Why-
exactly.
What's happening? What do I need to be aware of? Like, did we decide to get another dog? Like, why are we needing a bigger
Exactly.
yard?
Yeah.
Did the kid move back in? Are we needing a bigger house? Like,
Yeah, because the motivation,
that's what you told me at the.
yeah, because sometimes it changes
Right.
as they move along in life.
Or for us, it was, we started looking at stuff in that price range and we're like, I think we need to go a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So we need to increase that price range.
Okay, well, so this, the buyer's guide wish list, you know, it demonstrates your knowledge and your expertise. And it positions you as a local real estate agent of choice. And that's what you want. You want them to look at you as the local agent of choice. You can use designs to create a neighborhood snap for each area or zip code you intend to include. And you can get information on how to do this at answers.kw.com. And you can search the neighborhood chat. So that's all that stuff is invaluable. All right, so neighborhood insights.
It's on the other page. Fine.
Well, see,
I got you. I'm gonna teach the next thing.
I think you're gonna have to. You've been to all of them, haven't you? That's good. That is really good. Okay, neighborhood insights. You're gonna have the neighborhood information to demonstrate your knowledge and expertise, as we've talked about. And we've already said this. Haven't we already said
Those
this?
who can't teach. I'll just teach it. You do what I teach and go out and close mouses. So I think what happened is this got flipped, because this is the next slide.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so we're gonna hit this fast and we're gonna keep moving because I'm taking too long. So you've already gotten your value proposition in one of the
Yeah,
past
Tristan
sessions.
helped me with it.
So you're gonna drop it down in this.
Yep.
And you know, it's gonna be about your value proposition, but it's gonna be how you're gonna benefit your client. As a new agent, you can go in and you can do the data for your team, your market center, Keller Williams Realty. I mean, because we have so much data that's impressive that even if you're a new agent, I mean, you are part of a
Bigger picture.
a bigger system
Well, and
that's gonna give you the value.
I like the collaboration within the team, because even if I don't know the answer, I have you or Mike or John that I can go to and be like, hey, this is what they said. How do I fix it? Or
Yeah.
what do I say to them? Or how do I give them the answer?
Yeah.
And then I also love that I'm in the PC, because that gives me a team. That's
Yeah.
like being on a team without being on a team.
Right.
I can call Steven at midnight and be like,
Yeah.
hey, I just got this. Can you help me write this?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so. Some other numbers that you might try, and then. You can, the fact that you've got a section that your buyer presentation also contains testimonials. You should work on getting testimonials from buyers and sellers. You know, if you don't have testimonials, you're just gonna remove it. You're just gonna remove this page.
Steven was telling us like that we should start, even if there's somebody that we've worked with in the past.
Or just somebody that knows
Yeah.
and can
And kind
attest
of-
to your integrity,
Right, and
which I think is great.
give it some outside, hey, I'm not a biased, you know? Honestly, we're almost done. Cause this is like the end.
And then I've got other things like that I can show you.
Yeah.
This one's shorter than the ones I've
It
done
is,
before.
it is.
It's a whole lot
They're
shorter.
getting shorter as the classes have been, like, as we've been moving through the Ignite, they're getting much shorter.
Okay, buyer guide affiliated business arrangement
Mhm.
disclosure. You want to make sure that whatever businesses that you're dealing with, that you are
Mhm.
letting them know you have a business arrangement and having them sign that.
Mhm.
Okay. I want you to tell me why this is not.
It's this one right here.
Okay. There's your proposition, your competitive edge, all your numbers, and there's so many places to get your numbers from, and we have always, you know, our stats
Mhm.
that are just back there on the wall, or
Yeah.
you can go to KW Commonwealth.com and go to our resources,
Mhm.
and they're updated all the time,
Right.
and you can look at what looks impressive. If it's month over month, you may rather choose just last year's. I
Mhm.
mean, the end of the year, the whole year's data, which I've done before. Like if we've had a month that's not quite, I just prefer to use that. I don't think that's
It's not
dishonest.
everything,
I
but-
just prefer to do that sometimes, and it just depends, because there's some months that are a little slower than other months.
For a lot of months.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that I like, again, as a new agent, is I can pull the Keller Williams numbers and be like, we are the top
Yes,
producing office. Or even in this area, we are one of the top producing market centers. So you can definitely trust that I'm gonna have the backing to get it done.
I think being the biggest has so much power. Now, some people may see it differently, but in the end, when you're looking for someone that's going to be a benefit to you in any situation in life, you look for somebody that's successful. And so when you can show documentation and just where they can look at the figures,
Mhm.
because I think most people are visual.
Oh, yeah.
Some people are very detailed, like structural engineers, attorneys, but most people are visual.
Yep.
Okay. I don't think we've talked through everything, and we don't need to do ahas, do we?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, so now we're at the point where we're ready to
Sitting
conduct.
down with our client.
This is it says you've gotten and confirmed your appointment and created your buyer presentation. Now it's time to conduct your buyer consultation.
And then they go back for preparing.
Yeah, we go back to preparing. Being prepared is a big
They must be part army.
part, army.
Be prepared.
Well, yeah, be prepared and being prepared, because like in the beginning, to me, it's like your buyers want to like and trust you. And
There's nothing worse than showing up to an appointment and having somebody be like, oh yeah, oh wait, I need this. Oh wait,
yeah, because
oh, I left it in my car.
and then who wants to do business with that person?
And then you're sitting there. I have had those kind of meetings where you're sitting there and you're like, they are a this. And I do not want them to be.
Yeah,
dealing with
yeah, they're gonna drop the
those
ball on all of my stuff now.
people.
Yeah.
That we signed an agreement.
But I remember when I got my license, first got my license, one of the things that I used to hear said all the time, and I'm starting to hear it, well, in those classes I did, but I'm starting to hear people say it again. And that is, people don't care what you know until they know that you care.
I've heard that.
It has always been my mantra, because I do care about the people. And I almost feel like they're my children when I'm working with them, and end up falling in love with all of them. I mean, there may have been a couple.
Yeah, and
There may have been a couple in my career that I was like, "Ooh,
Bye."
difficult." But for the most part, they really want to know that you like them, you care about them, you're looking out for them.
and
But then they need to know you know what you're doing. So you gotta have your skills up. And all of this stuff, that's why it's so important. I don't do so well. I'm better. You're gonna attest to this. I'm much better with you when it's one-on-one, you and me. When I know that there are people out there that are gonna listen to this, I fumble.
yeah.
And
I
you
do
you
that too.
you sit here and you've seen me do that.
Well, and I think.
And I'm one-on-one, I'm like looking you in the eye.
Mhm.
And that's why I really like meetings that are standing here,
Yeah.
talking to everybody, you know.
And I struggle with that. I'm a one-on-one person, and I did my very first agent intro for a house, and I was like, I don't know what and I was watching it. I'm like, what am I doing with my hands? And like, I was so nervous, and I'm like, if I were standing there telling somebody about a house and it wasn't being filmed, I would have been fine. But
Yes,
as soon as I knew
exactly.
it was on camera and that it was gonna be posted on the website, I was like, oh.
So I've got to up my game on that because
Yeah, but
because when I get back to being who I am and just talking to you instead of having to follow
script.
the script, when I say have to follow the script, I feel like you lose the best of me
Mhm.
and all the expertise that I've got over the last 30 years that I'm always willing to share. And it changes the whole dynamic, I think. Anyway, you
Yeah.
gotta prepare.
You gotta prepare and make sure that you have, like, for me, as someone that's been an admin in the past, I'm going into command, I'm creating that opportunity, I'm setting it so that it says that it's a scheduled appointment.
Yeah,
I'm going into dot loop, I'm creating the paperwork, assuming that when I leave, I will have a signed document from them.
mhm,
So that we can hit the ground running. And so that's part of the preparation, printing out whatever documents I need. The biggest thing I need work on is this stupid script. Like you said, like, once you have that script, it falls out normally.
if you practice it
How did you?
enough,
I told my husband, I'm like, I'm gonna start using you as guinea pig.
I use my family.
Did you?
Yes, yes. And then what shocks you when you're all of a sudden you're out and about and you're talking to people, it falls out of your mouth.
That's what I want.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And
I may just start talking, and the other thing I've been trying to do is like record it on Chat GPT or Gemini and then have it like feed back stuff to me and be like, hey, you need to work on this, or you shouldn't say that, or this is where you need work. So.
yeah,
Okay.
okay, so
Consultation.
you've got to have this really good mindset when you go in to a meeting. And you're gonna need to have, of course, your high quality looking presentation for them, but you've got to have your mindset in the right place. And there was an agent, and she's still around, and she used to like, right before she would go to a listing presentation, she would like jump up and down and go, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. She did that all the time. It was hilarious. But it just helped her in her head say, I am the best. They're going to list with me. So, you gotta be confident and you gotta be open, you gotta be caring and curious, but you gotta be ready to win. No matter what, because if you win, they win. Because you're getting the skills every day. I mean, I watch you come to all the classes, you're learning based. It's just you.
And I like sharing what I learned. It's not like I'm just coming here. It's like I was kind of laughing the other day because I was talking to my one listing, the lake house people,
Yeah.
and I was like, you would not believe what I just learned.
Yeah.
And people were like, wait, what?
But people like that. People like when you're real, I think. And there's just no room for negativity and small thinking. You've got to be the person you are. You cannot pretend that you're somebody else. Like I feel like through this whole thing, because I'm trying to do what I'm supposed to do with these things, and knowing other people are going to be hearing it, that I haven't been me at all. And you've seen it. I have not been there
Struggling.
Yeah. Yeah. And that really bothers me because if I'm standing up in front of a group, but it's not being broadcast to the world, I'm who I am. And I do a better job. I teach more things. I teach things that I know through all the years instead of having to stick to something, So that's frustrating to me. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Ooh,
I am knowledgeable and caring. These are the things you're going to say to yourself. These are the affirmations. I'm knowledgeable and caring and the best agent for these clients. They will appreciate my expertise and preparation and choose me to represent them as they buy a home. It is so important. And if you say these affirmations, when we did bold and we did
I'm excited for that.
and we did the affirmations, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play the game full on. This is so stupid. These affirmations.
I was not raised in a family that used affirmations.
Yeah.
Like,
There was more negativity, yeah. And I started doing it with an accountability partner every morning.
mhm.
And I'm like, this does set my day off in the right tone.
Kind of like doing Bible verses in the morning.
Yes, yes. Okay,
I like that. Can I read that?
yes, I want you to read it too.
I am knowledgeable and caring and the best agent for these clients. They will appreciate my expertise and preparation and choose me to represent them as they buy their home.
I love it. Okay. Okay. So the first thing you're gonna welcome the buyer, of course.
Role play.
Yeah.
That's like I'm saying, like this is, we're pretty much done.
And
Welcome the buyer. Hi, Donna. Thanks for letting me help you. My goal is to give you a 10+ customer experience. To do that, I'd like to get a clear idea of what you are looking for in your new home. So with your permission, I'd like to spend the next 20 to 30 minutes exploring the right home for you. I can't read this morning. Right home for you would. What? They're
I've lost-
missing the word. Exploring what the right home for you would be like. We will call this your 10+ home. Well, with your permission, I'd like to write notes as long as we go along, so I remember everything that is important to you. It may seem like a lot, and I'd rather ask you 500 questions now than show you the right 5 homes. And in my personal experience, it takes a lot more than 20 to 30 minutes if you're a talker like me.
I talk too much sometimes and realize it, and I've taken too long. I've taken up too much of her time, and I
Yeah.
have to watch myself with that.
That's where I'm gonna have to have
Yeah,
like a timer set on my phone or something.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, here we go. But this is the part that I like of the Ignite, is like sitting here and actually reading through it, because as you see, I do not like reading or stumbling over scripts.
yeah. But they stop being scripts though, as you use them, because everything you said in here, when you go in, it's preparing the buyer. It's preparing the buyer for kind of what to expect, and this is why we're doing this. And this is such a benefit to you.
Because then you're setting up expectations of what's gonna happen, and then they're not being like, I don't know, what was that? What? I think in my experience, Lewis, when we bought our house, we interviewed 2 separate agents, and we ended up going with Philip because he actually took the time to sit down, like I said, and give us a packet of all the contracts that we possibly could see,
Yeah.
escalating clause, buyer representation, offers for purchase, like everything. And he literally took that 1 hour to walk us through everything that could possibly happen. So that when it happened, or when it could happen,
Right.
he didn't have to explain it to us. We already were ready and
And even
informed.
if and he could go back and say, remember when we talked about
Or
this?
go get the paperwork that I gave you, because he gave us a folder
Yeah.
with all the contracts in it that weren't signed, that he had just highlighted where we needed to look.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yes. So we had blank copies of everything that he was sending us in .loop that we could hold, and he would go tell us, hey, go get the folder, open it up, line such and so. This is what we're doing on it. we're putting
And,
that.
and it makes people so much more at ease when they know what's going to happen next.
And then all we had
And
to
you
do
should
was-
never leave a conversation without saying, this is what's gonna happen next.
But then we didn't have to read the one in dot loop. We could just go and sign.
Yes, yes. That's pretty much the way I do it too.
Yep. It's good.
You know, and it just tells them why it's important to spend time.
Yep.
With you discussing their wants and needs, and that it's not just a waste of their
Mhm.
time.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Excuse me. This is the buyer needs analysis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the big part is filling out this buyer needs analysis. And it's because you're gonna listen more than you're gonna talk.
Right, and again, these are things that you're gonna need to know when you set up a search.
Yes, yeah. And
What they-
you know, you go over a lot over the needs analysis as you go over things.
Mhm.
So you're gonna go over several of the questions in the needs analysis and explain how important the answers to these questions are to a successful search. And how much you're gonna have to narrow things down,
Mhm.
because in the beginning, they're all over the place. They just want a house.
They've been watching too much.
Yeah, yeah, and so you've got to take the lead on it. Okay, love letters. Let's talk about love letters. You know, these letters represent a fair housing risk because they can easily reveal personal information. A lot of people really like the love letters, and they want to send, they've heard about it. They want to send a letter with their offer saying, we love your house. It's going to be the perfect, we can envision our family there, you know, on Christmas morning or whatever. And oh, Joe.
He just got a listing, his very first.
Oh,
listing.
okay, that's good.
And
That's
he got
good.
engaged this week.
Oh, awesome. I don't know which one's the most important.
I know, he's
Okay.
in my PC, so.
Okay, okay. You know, you have to explain to your client what the risks are here.
Cause I'm thinking that I sent several of those with some of the offers during
Yes.
2020.
It is a big liability.
Is it?
Yes, it's a big liability because of fair housing. It feels like it shouldn't be, but just the fact that it could end up in a lawsuit because of
Because they're just trying to
discrimination.
sway them.
And if they pick yours or didn't pick yours because you are celebrating Christmas and they don't believe in it or whatever, and then you could come back and, well, people don't. I've never really thought about it, but you know you have to say
Different world.
you're not going to help them draft the letter.
Mhm.
You're not going to read the letter because of liability to you. And you're not gonna deliver it. This is just, there were two thoughts on it for a while, and all of a sudden, all the attorneys came down on this side,
Okay.
that it was dangerous.
Okay.
So the safest thing is no love letters.
Okay. I'm glad I'm learning that because we sent in 2020 when we were looking, we sent like 3 with offers. Obviously, we didn't get those houses, but I never thought about it. And then I recently had a client write one because I had done it before.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it sounds like a really good idea.
Mhm.
And truthfully,
like baking cookies for an open house.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I could see that I could be swayed because I love my home. And
You want to
if I want somebody who is gonna love it, raise their family there. I mean, that would sway me.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I raised all my kids in this house and now I'm having to leave it. Wouldn't it be wonderful if someone else comes along and they're gonna raise their family in this
Mhm.
house? So I can see that, but the liability is something that could happen.
So much sense. I
Is-
never thought
Well, I
about it.
had neither. But when I was broker is when it really came down. That's when I really started drilling down on this. And I'm like,
Yes.
ooh, all the attorneys are not in
Okay.
agreement with this. I know.
So that, you're done with that.
Yeah,
You're done with it.
yeah, and it's the backside. Okay,
That's an aha. That is a huge aha. I will never have a love letter again.
yeah,
No
okay,
more. I do like I like the idea again, but it does make sense that it's a liability because then they are revealing themselves and you deal with the whole thing of, unfortunately, like, oh, if they're same-sex marriage or adopting or not adopting, or they have animals or don't have animals.
Yeah.
You're running into all of these things that they're revealing about themselves that may go against what the person is about.
yeah, and what they're trying to.
And then
accomplish.
if they don't get the deal, they can say, oh, well, you didn't like me because X, Y, Z.
Yeah, yeah.
Big
And if somehow a neighbor could say to them when they move in,
The only
or
reason you got
somebody,
this.
or meet somebody who didn't get the home
Mhm,
in the bid,
mhm.
and they may say, well, you know why they didn't choose yours? I promise you, your neighbors will tell everybody everything, okay? So they will tell them everything that's ever been wrong with your house.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
cool. Learned something new today. No love letters.
no love letters.
No love letters.
So your goal of that buyer consultation in the end is a signed buyer representation agreement.
Mhm. Even if let me ask you, even if they don't sign it in that meeting, like I said, when we did it with Philip, he actually didn't have us sign it right then and there. He's like, here's the deal that you will be signing. I'll send it to you in .loop. And then he literally, while we were sitting there, sent it to us so that we could sign it in .loop. So we was.
But was that before the new buyer broker agreements? Oh, that's a big deal.
What is it?
Life has changed totally when you're signing a buyer broker, and we can talk about it later. So we're gonna practice the close for agreement conversations. You should also review and practice the objections
Mhm.
to exclusivity conversations before your first buyer conversation.
Yeah.
You're gonna look to close the agreement. So this is wrapping up the buyer consultation. You're gonna offer your KW app
Mhm.
and you're gonna set expectations. You're gonna explain what happens next. You're always gonna be explaining what happens next. And you're gonna set up their searches.
Mhm.
You're gonna send info on the neighborhood. You're gonna send lender recommendations and contact information. When you share your app, your branding will be shared along with it, and you can start to track customers' engagement. As your clients create collections on the KW app, you can view the listings in those collections, and that just gives you more information. And you need to share it with them and show them how to use it and use the search features and that buyer consultation, as we said, should always end with the clear next steps, what's going to happen next. At every point in this sales process, you need to be telling your client what to expect at this moment and coming up. That way, we've talked about that, stay informed and confident.
Mhm.
And ending the buyer consultation always is the same. What will happen next? You'll set up a search for them. Will you send them further information? You'll be sending contacts directly to their phone for lenders, the things we just talked about. So make sure that they know what's going to happen next, and then you make sure you follow up exactly. If it's supposed to get to them by 9 o'clock, get it there by 8. So you are prompt always, never late, okay? And you're going to talk the participants through your general process right after a buyer consultation. Almost on that. Okay.
There you go.
This just talks about, to ask you to write in your participant guide how you've grown in each of the areas and take time to reflect on what you've learned. And then your daily success system.
Which is right here.
Yeah, it's in your book. Yeah. So 20 minutes, role play conversations with a partner every day.
We haven't been doing that because it's just me.
Well, honestly, it's probably one of the things that agents neglect the most
Well,
and is the most valuable. And I'm gonna admit, I'm one of them, and I know the value of it, even though I've heard these scripts several times and objections and all that. Every time I script role play, it's like, it cements it a little better for me.
no, yeah,
And
I'm
it's
not saying that I shouldn't do it, it's that
Yeah.
lately I haven't had anybody to practice with, because there's nobody here.
Yeah,
Um,
so, number 2 is for 10 minutes, you prepare a call list for the day.
Yep, it's right here.
I like,
I'm gonna put
I
my
like to
names.
do the day before. And then
Well, this is,
45 minutes, you're gonna real play, you role play in the real world.
my way through on.
Yeah. Then you're gonna update your database.
I've been doing, that was what I was doing when you came in.
Yeah.
I was adding some emails and stuff. for
Your
people.
database is the most valuable thing you own.
John told me it's a data bank.
It is,
Page.
and it is. I have a really big database. I kind of dropped the ball on all the things that I like sent out through email in the past. When we changed systems, I was like, now I've got to learn something else, And so I've gotten back on track with that. And of course, then I had my surgeries and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so it kind of got me off track. But I'm back on track now, and I'm telling you, keeping your database straight and reaching out, just touching them. And they're always so happy to you. You feel like, oh, I'm gonna bother them. They're so happy to hear from you.
That's what I've been working on, is just touching people and being like, hey, I went to send an email, realized I didn't have an email, or I think you guys moved since the last time I talked to you. What's your email address?
I'm telling you that just touching people, and all of a sudden it'll start paying off. Because they'll think of you, because you need to, you're personable, you're friendly. I think you're gonna do well. So anyway, these are daily habits of success. And I've heard some of the big producers say, what I do is boring. I do the same things every day. And some people can't stand it, they have to move on to a new adventure or whatever. But people that I've been doing this for a long time, and I used to say, oh, there's no way these people are going to make it in this business. And then they would be blockbusters. Just because they didn't have the same personality I had, I wasn't connecting. And they were more CPA minded or something like that. But it is true that more realtors are like high eyes, which are, friendly people. I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, just being successful and being connected with people and doing the same thing over and over again. And it's like I told Lewis the other day, I think that the biggest thing for me right now is that we have been in a really hard year. I am a brand new agent. I don't have a huge sphere in this area. I am going to have to rely on a lot of referrals. Not making excuses, just saying I have to stick to it and keep working this system, and it will pay off.
If you work this system, there is no way it won't pay off.
Right, and that's what I just have to remind myself that on my bad days when I'm like, I'm ready to quit and get a 9.5. But I've looked at the other people and I've talked to other people and been like, okay, how long have you been in Asia? Oh, okay. I'm comparing, it's like the way I compare it is when you're a newlywed and you're looking at your parents and you're like, they have all this stuff and they're this in their
Yeah.
marriage, and you start comparing yourself to them, and then you're
Right.
like, wait, they've been married for 20 years, 30 years. I wasn't there when they were newly married. I didn't see all the struggles that they
Right.
went through. I didn't see it when they were eating ramen noodles every night and peanut butter and jelly.
Yes, yeah,
I'm seeing it when they're successful and they've made it work and they've put that effort in. I can't compare myself to agents that have, like you and Mike, that have been doing it for 30 years
yeah.
and have a massive database. I have to compare it.
But it's
more.
it's a day at a time.
I'm a baby.
And yes, and it's a day at a time. If every single day you will do what you need to do, but you have to touch the people. You have to learn all of this and you have to go to the classes. But if you're just getting ready to get ready to get ready,
Yeah, I don't want to be that person.
yeah,
I do
you
definitely
have to
wanna
do
put it-
the activities and eventually they will pay off. I'm telling you, I'm watching my friend Sherry
Mhm.
and she has started doing the activities. And it is paying off big time for her. I'm seeing her
Wow.
grow.
I've
Yeah.
been watching her too.
Yeah, it's just, it's been amazing to watch that change. And it's just because she had a mindset that changed and started saying, I'm gonna do instead of saying I'm going to do. Okay, so let's.
So I'm gonna do my sheets, and if you
Yeah.
skip a couple more slides there, I will scan your QR code and give you your rating. And so
Okay. That sounds good. Okay, so I think we are,
we're done.
make
You
sure
did.
that there's
Yeah.
nothing else I need to touch. I actually do, and I am. Here's some. Oh, I want to touch on this.
Mhm.
We have to be very aware of the do not call list. We're only in trouble for that. Okay, what about, you want to read this one?
I engage in every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me.
And they are, if it is, if you are coming with contribution and with care, I really
Don't be
believe
fake.
you're not gonna do that.
I will do that.
And you're gonna
Right
prepare
there,
your
yeah.
conversation list.
Yeah, because I'm doing the D2, DT or whatever. DT.
Okay, now we are done.
Yeah.
And you and I will talk about some of the things. I don't know if there's anything that I need to.
I didn't have your slide.
I don't know how to turn it off. She's going to.
You're fine. I can turn it on. There we go. That's
Okay. At least